Hi guys, welcome back to Seduced by Novellas. It's just me today and my painted face. I've got random face paint on because I went into my work today for a meeting and ended up spending money at the charity raffle and open day that they've got on there at the moment. Very nice lady from somewhere called Party Paints did my face paint and it is absolutely gorgeous. Did a really good job, and I'm pretty sure like if you're in the southwest area and you need anything for parties or stuff, she's pretty damn good, so I'll link her below. But now on to the nitty gritty stuff. So I'm going to do a review for you guys. I've recently finished the All for the Game trilogy and it's ruined my life. I literally can't think about anything but it at the moment, so I figured why not do a review, get it out of my system. It's not going to get out of my system. And also, you know, good opportunity now that I've got nice shiny flowers all over my face and bright red hair. So why not? So this is the first book. It is a bit bright. There we go. So it's called The Foxhole Court and it's by Nora Sakavic. And my god, the books aren't for the faint-hearted. If you have triggering issues with violence or, you know, abuse or sexual abuse or drugs or anything of any kind like that, I would recommend not reading these books because they could trigger you, make you quite upset. If you're cool with reading stuff like that, then I would highly encourage anyone to read these books because I just thoroughly enjoyed them. So the premise of the story is it kind of revolves around this made-up sport called Exie. Now Exie is kind of like a combination of lacrosse and hockey, like American hockey, ice hockey. It's played in a big stadium, like imagine a football stadium, but with in the middle of the floor a big plexiglass square with a door in and out. So the players go in and the doors can't open while game is in play. If game is in play, the doors have to stay shut. So a player has to signal or a coach has to, you know, ask for swapping for them to do anything. Otherwise, the game goes on continuously and it's brutal. It is brutal. So if you imagine the intensity of lacrosse and the absolute violence of ice hockey, then you get Exie. So we focus on our hero of this story, Neil Joston, who is a runaway. That's the first thing that we know about him. He doesn't live with his parents, and I'll go into more detail about that later. And his coach often shows a blind eye, if we like, to the fact that Neil tends to sleep in the locker rooms. He's a very closely guarded guy and there's a lot of shit that's happened in his past to make him like that. His parts of the book, when you're reading as him, everything is slightly detached, as you can see from his lack of empathy, and he's quite apathetic, and you can see that because of the events that have shaped his life. So every time you read from him, from his point of view, you're feeling slightly detached from the situation, but also terrified. And the parts in which Neil is scared, and that isn't often because he's a tough kid, they scare you. Your heart will pound, and you'll read faster and faster, and you'll think, oh my god, I can't deal with this. And it just sucks you in. It is so good. The characters are on point. There are some characters you're going to fall in love with immediately. They are absolutely beautifully written characters. They're all so individual. There are enough shocks and twists and turns in the book to make you go more and more and more. I mean, when I read them the first time, I've read them twice now. I read the first 3 within 22 hours. They were that good. I just could not stop. They're not the longest books in the world, but they really are good. I really think that especially the characters and the plot are the absolute biggest pieces of this one. It's just really hard to explain because it's about sports and murder and gangs and you know, it's just so good. They're just so good. And one of my favourite things about the book is the fact that the author holds no punches. She doesn't hold back those punches. She will punch you in the face with feels, and it will hurt you. It will hurt you, and it will seriously hurt you. So I don't want to go into too much detail about the story itself, because that will obviously give away spoilers, and I hate giving away spoilers in reviews. So the main things you need to know is it is about a 18-year-old runaway, and what is he running from? You'll have to find that out by reading it, because that's too much of a spoiler to go into. And about his passionate love for this sport that he is willing to give up pretty much everything for, because he wants to play so badly for this. And he's awesome at it as well. Neil really progresses as a character throughout the book. He comes over in leaps and bounds. Things at the start of the book that he would never have done and refused to do, he will slowly learn to accept. So his character has massive changes, and it's really good because you can see the development, the growth of these characters, and even the secondary characters, those as well. Development, changes, all sorts, and you'll see it all the way through the book. And it's not just these same characters that stay the same. All of them have got backstory. All of them have got details that are tiny, tiny details to their lives that make so much of a difference. And all of the characters change and develop as you read the book. So that's the first one of the Foxhole Court. The next one, if I can find the cover for you lovely people, is called The Raven King, which is a reference to one of the characters in the book, which you'll find out as well. So that's the cover of that one. And if you thought the first book was going to kick you in the feels, then the second book's even worse. I think maybe she's tried to stagger them, I don't know, or maybe each book she read she thought, how can I get progressively more evil? There's a scene in this book that's quite disturbing. Younger readers, discretion advised, because it's quite upsetting, and this may trigger people as well. How Neil deals with this is wonderful. Like, it's brilliant. You're watching this character grow and grow, and I have to say there aren't that many books with characters that are so likeable, and not only likability, because obviously there are books with likeable characters, but to actively be able to see these characters change and grow as people. You don't see them as book characters. I feel like I'm seeing this as a real person, as things that are happening to this guy's life. Yeah, of course, more shit happens, of course it does, because Neil can't catch a break. It's pretty horrible. Soz, warning. No spoilers to what happens, of course. But the first book progresses very much like the second. I feel the pace is faster in the second book, so we're going through things a lot quicker, time's jumping a lot faster. But I'm thinking that might be because Neil's now settled into his role of an ex player for the school that he plays for, and I think that's why it's moving a bit more quickly. The book seems to be going fine. There's a lot of sass, and Neil is the sass master, and you're like, yes, Neil, sass master. There are bits you're reading, you're cringing, you're going, oh my god, you're gonna get yourself beaten up. Why are you doing this? Stop. But at the same time, you're like, yeah, get in, my son. Yes, the book progresses so far through it until the end of the book, in which it broke my heart into 1,200,000 pieces, and I had to then put myself back together, which took me a while. I had to stop and have a breathe, because it was when you get to the end of the second book, let me tell you, your heart will crack open. More backstory for the rest of the characters. You learn more about secondary characters, which is great. As I said before, the characters in this are just fantastic. So you've got the Exy team, Neil's team, that it's based on, and again, like I said, I won't go into detail because spoilers, but each of them have a very complicated backstory. Each have got very different walks of life. They're all unusual people, and they fit into this broken team so perfectly, because the Foxes are a broken team, basically. The coach will take players who don't fit anywhere else and make them fit, and that's what's awesome. And also the coach is amazing, and my headcanon for him, because someone posted it on Tumblr, of course, so I have this massive Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson frigging headcanon now. Like, every time I think of the coach, I think of this massive great guy shouting, "Get on with it, maggots," at them. And he's brilliant. He's excellent. Yeah, so we get to the end of the Raven King and everything's horrible and life sucks. And you're literally thinking, why have I done this to myself? Why am I reading this? It's absolutely killing me. Ugh. Anyway, then you take a breather and you move on to the third one, which is this one. Which is called The King's Men. So third and final one in the series. Nora has advised that she won't be writing any more books about it, which I understand because the ending's really good. And yeah, if you thought the second book was bad, like, I was reading these thinking, oh my god, can this really get much worse? And I read the third one and I was like, oh. Didn't know what to do with myself, literally. I was so invested in these characters by now that I just could not stop. I was reading and reading and reading. Oh my flippin'. And then an excellent thing happens. And it's wonderful, and it's everything that I wanted, because I wanted it from the start, and you'll probably pick up on it as you're reading it and think, oh, what does that happen? And it's brilliant, and it's so beautifully written, and your heart's pounding, and it's just absolutely stunningly done. And then everything goes to shit again, because Neil fucking Justin can't catch a break. And I feel for this kid, like, you'll feel for this kid. And it's horrible. It's just, like, if you've got any issues with violence in books, just don't do it, because it will hurt you. But if you're cool, like, if you can do it, read it, then just do it. Like, I can't recommend it enough. Yeah, I don't even know if I can say any more about it, to be honest with you. The third book's the best out of the lot of them. First book's outstanding, really amazing, beautiful pacing, lovely characters, and it's more of an introduction than anything else, even though it's kind of like hurts you, it's still really, really good. Second book is where she seems to have gone, oh right, okay, well, now you know these guys, I'm just gonna, you know, sit here and pound you in the face with my fists. And you're like, ouch, okay, that's really painful, I can deal with this, but it's really, really hard. You get to the third book and you might as well just take a knife and stab it into my heart, because they're just, it's just awful. It's like torture. I mean, it's good torture, but the fact is that these kids have gone through so much, and there's a reason that these kids are all on this team. They are this broken team. They are the Foxes, and they are family, and they come together as this broken unit, and they combine as one, and they are outstanding. And of course there's all the games, and the games are beautifully written as well, especially considering this is a completely made up sport. The rules are all within the books, so like there's a really nice bit detailing the rules of Exene, what it means and stuff like that. And there is also bits detailing how it looks and what the rackets are like, saying that the goalkeeper's racket can go up to 4 foot long, which is ridiculous. And there's brief bits in the book that again deal with psychological, mental issues, abuse, past abuse, sexual abuse, child abuse. You know, the list goes on. Torture. It's pretty brutal. But once you get to the end of the third book, your heart's hammering and you're thinking, oh my god, this can't end like this. This just can't. There's a certain point in the third book where I literally thought I was gonna have to like throw the Kindle away from me and just not read anymore because I couldn't take it. But persevered, and finally you get to the end and it doesn't feel like everything's going to fall to shit. And the end's relatively nice as well. So yeah, it's good. It ends on a brilliant finish. But yeah, I can't praise the characters and the plot and the pacing enough. I mean, like, I think she's a relatively new author. I'm not sure if these books are self-published or not. So of course the writing style isn't going to be as possibly as refined and maybe as mature as some of the more well-known authors possibly, but I didn't notice any flaws within the writing. I was so busy trying to absorb these books through my very skin that I didn't notice any issues at all, to be honest with you. I can't recommend these books highly enough. They will ruin your life. I've read them twice all three of them twice, probably within the last few days, like within a week I've read, but oh, they've just ruined me. But yeah, so all for the game series, Foxhole Court, the Raven King and the King's Men. They're really, really cheap as well. So the first one is actually free on Amazon on Kindle, and the second two are 99p each. So literally you've got like nothing to lose. Go and download them, have a read, tell me what you think in the comments below. If you read them and you don't like them, tell me what you think in the comments below. If you read them and you love them, tell me what you think. If you've already read them and you want to discuss it further, tell me what you think or message me on Tumblr. Me and some other girls are like obsessed at the moment, and yeah, we've got a WhatsApp chat going on. And yeah, so shout out to Infernal Herondale and also to Izzy the Heartbreaker, because I love you guys, and yeah, it's killing me. And of course Queen Novella, because we've been chatting to my baby girl as well about this. She's also reading them currently at the moment, but she's not finished book 3 yet, so she's not actually finished the pain, so thoughts go out to her. But yeah, so yeah, feel free to comment below, thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you guys next time.